And we are back. I'm Leslie Marshall. Welcome or welcome back. Only true democracy in talk. I have to tell you, they say you save the best for last. They even made a great song of it. And so have we. We have joining us, last but not least today, Sean O'Brien. President O'Brien is general president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, a fourth generation Teamster from Boston, my hometown, committed to winning and defending strong national contracts, organizing new members, aggressively taking on employers. He's focused on mobilizing rank and file Teamsters through education and increased engagement, and we've seen that happening and successfully, traveling extensively to visit, I know when he sleeps, to visit with members at work sites throughout the country. And in addition to fighting for workers, he's helped raise millions of dollars for charitable causes. That includes Local 25 signature event, Light Up the Night. That's an annual gala to raise money for children with autism. Founded back in 1903, the International Brotherhood of Teamsters now represents 1.3 million hardworking people, not just in the United States, but in Canada and Puerto Rico. Please visit teamster.org for more information. Follow them on X, follow them on Instagram, their handle at Teamsters, like them on Facebook at facebook.com/Teamsters. And President O'Brien's handle is on X at Teamster SOB for Sean O'Brien. President O'Brien, more than a pleasure to have you with us. Air conditioning is not working so well in the studio. We're having a having a heat wave here in Southern California. So my apologies for not wearing my dapper jacket with that lovely suit you're wearing. Thank you for being with us, sir.
Yeah, our air conditioner's working very well here. It actually throws snowballs at us, so we're good.
Oh, really? Yeah, maybe I gotta move in with you guys. A little bit of a commute. There's just been so many wins. I mean, every time I have you on or anybody from the Teamsters, we started off why the Teamsters win this, the Teamsters win this. The Teamsters have won not just a decision, but a groundbreaking joint employer decision against Amazon. Talk to us about this. Talk about what this groundbreaking, why it's groundbreaking, and what it is, so people understand, because everybody knows what Amazon is.
Well, it's definitely groundbreaking because the folks in Palm have been fighting for over a year, and we were able to prove that Amazon is the true employer. They hide behind this shell game, and it's very important because we won this decision through the NLRB, and I think to your point, we've been very successful in many different arenas outside of Amazon by avoiding the NLRB. Whether it's striking for recognition or working out contract neutrality with all employees with the threat of a strike. Amazon obviously has no problems taking a strike. We've been on strike, but we have proven that they are an employer. They have rules and procedures, and they're expected. These contractors are expected to follow them, and it's going to be huge for us because we are going to take this victory, the ruling and the victory, and take it. There's 300,000 workers that are in this same spot, so we are going to run with this decision. We know that Amazon's a very litigious company, but we're prepared for it, and at the end, we're going to demand that they get to the table and bargain with us. No different than the decision that we just won to represent the JFK 8, which used to be the ALU, which is we created a local union. They merged, had their election, so that the ALU, Teamsters Local 1 in New York, we were just certified. We've sent the demand for bargaining. We've sent dates were available. We've also sent requests for information. So we are ready to go, and we're firing on all cylinders. And I firmly believe we are going to organize Amazon nationwide.
Well, I agree with you, and you must have read my mind, because that leads into my second question. I mean, when you talk about this decision where Amazon delivery drivers represented by Teamsters Local 396 in Palmdale, California, right in my backyard, you won that groundbreaking decision. This sets the stage, and I would imagine that Amazon in other local districts and other cities and other states are sweating because they see that you're going to organize with the Teamsters and that you're not going to stop until you have those delivery drivers represented for Amazon, across the board. They know you're going to do that. Is this, in a sense, a green light to do that? Doesn't make it easier to do that.
Well, it's not an easy process, but it's definitely a green light to move forward in other areas of the country. But more importantly, it's given these other direct employees of Amazon the ability to organize. They see that there is a path to victory as a result of what happened. I mean, look, the members in 396, they stood strong. I rallied with 450 trade unionists and employees of Amazon on Thursday. It was tremendous. The energy was great. Our goal is to take this show on the road and expose not only Amazon, but we also have Federal Express that is doing the same exact thing. They hide behind independent contractor model. We won a decision like this in 2007 and 8 in Teamsters Local 25 with FedEx Home Delivery, where we proved that FedEx mandated, just like Amazon, you buy the van, you have to follow the rules, you have to deliver the packages, you have to follow every rule and procedure that's put in place. So essentially, they are the employer. We proved that, and unfortunately, through an administrative law judge's ruling, it was overturned. But we're confident in our position right now with Amazon and any and all industry that utilizes independent contractor model. This is not just a Teamster issue. This is an issue for workers all around. This independent contractor model, many other industries utilize this to skirt their obligation to direct employees. So this is huge, and we're very proud of the work that we did. But more importantly, we're especially proud of the workers that stood up and fought Amazon. And it can be done. It's inspirational, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, the NLRB Region 31, they found on August 22nd that Amazon is a joint employer of its delivery service partner, DSP drivers. So, therefore, it is a legal duty. This isn't just you working for your workers. There is a legal duty here to recognize and to bargain with the Teamsters Union. Here in Los Angeles, they found that Amazon engaged in a long list of egregious, unfair labor practices at that Palmdale facility, including unlawfully refusing to recognize the workers' decision to unionize with the Teamsters, failing and refusing to bargain with the Teamsters over conditions of employment, and the effects of its decision to terminate its DSP's contract, threatening employees with job loss, holding unlawful, the list goes on. A couple of things. Are you encouraged? I'm seeing polls with numbers like 72% approval ratings of unionization among voters or potential voters in the United States. I mean, this is a movement, right? You're at the forefront of a movement,
Yeah.
Mr. President. And like you said, I mean that's exciting.
Encourage is an understatement. We've proven, and I think a lot of this goes back to the essential services that all working people in America, not just Teamsters, provided to this country during the pandemic. Don't forget, people risk their lives doing their jobs. Some people lost their lives doing their jobs, and to provide goods and services to this country. Well, all these big corporate companies, these corporate elitists, were making record profits, and our members were status quo. Although they were getting some accolades at the time of being essential workers and being heroes, as soon as the pandemic was over, everybody forgets who kept this country moving. So I think that plays a big role in where we're at right now in organized labor, because people are demanding their value, people are demanding their worth, but more importantly, people aren't afraid to stand up to the employer. People aren't afraid to fight with the boss anymore. And I think that's been demonstrated with our members in 396 in Palmdale, that look, no matter how big a corporation is, no matter how much money they have, we've got what they call sweat equity, intestinal fortitude, that we can weather any storm and fight any battle, regardless if they can outspend us. And I think that has been truly inspirational to other workers who want to organize. And look, it's proven. I mean, look what we've done at UPS, right? We got $30 billion contract. A lot of these politicians need to recognize that a lot of their work 30 or 40 years ago has caused the problems that we are in today, whether it's to organize, whether it's getting reimbursed pension funds, because of, for our biggest issue in 1980 was a trucking deregulation, where they deregulated the trucking industry. We lost 400,000 members, pension funds took a hit, and now all of a sudden, we decided to fix the pension funds 40 years later, a problem that was created by legislation that was supported by both parties. So, there's a lot of issues that our workers now are fighting and winning. Like you said, we're winning, and we're going to continue to win. And I think it's important that not only the general public realizes how valuable the American worker is and the union worker is, but these politicians, whether they're Republican, Democrat, or independent, need to understand their constituents are the ones that are going to work every single day, providing these goods and services, and they need to understand who they work for. They shouldn't be working for big tech. They shouldn't be working for the gig economy. They should be working for the lunch pail people in this country that keep America working, keep the middle class successful and present. And I'm fired up. Look, there's a lot of controversy out there. there's a lot of opportunity out there, and we're gonna take it all on one at a time, one battle at a time. We got United Airlines right now. We're fighting with right now. We're doing rallies all over the country. We got third round of bargaining next week in Denver. We're holding this company accountable. More importantly, we're exposing them to the general public on the conditions. We have the best technicians in the country, 10,000 of them. But you know what the general public doesn't know? This company doesn't want to give them wage increases. This company wants to give them health care that's, substandard, costs a lot of money, but they want to outsource work that's performed outside of the United States. And when this work comes back from being outsourced, our members are the ones that are fixing it, recreating, trying to find a problem that was supposed to be fixed overseas. And, that's a safety issue for us. So,
absolutely. And I want to speak to safety. Quick break, Mr. President.
Sure.
I apologize for stepping on your toes there. We're going to come back. In the meantime, follow on X, on Instagram at Teamsters. Check out the website. A lot of information there, teamster.org. On Facebook, like them there, facebook.com/Teamsters. And follow President O'Brien at Teamster SOB, Sean O'Brien. We'll be back with President O'Brien and you and more right after this. Back, we have General President of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, Sean O'Brien, fourth generation Teamster from Boston. Glad to have him with us and back with us. A lot of respect, and he is doing just such great things for workers as the head of the Teamsters in a time where we're having a resurgence of a love and support, as we should, for unions. Like I said, if you just missed us before the break, please go to the website teamster.org and also follow them on Instagram, on X at Teamsters, and also follow President O'Brien on X at Teamster SOB, and on Facebook, like them at facebook.com/Teamsters. Tell us about the Day of Solidarity. You mentioned politicians. I know you had that in Long Beach, California. I should have taken you to dinner for cocktails with Congressman Adam Schiff.
Well, Congressman, soon to be Senator Schiff was very, very supportive, always been supportive. Showed up at the rally. I don't drink and go to dinner with politicians. I just want to get that on the record. But, he has been a warrior for us. He's one of the few that actually has, walked our picket lines. The Teamsters have had 226 picket lines since March of 2022. And we've had Adam Schiff walk picket lines. We've had Sherrod Brown walk picket lines. And we've had Josh Hawley walk picket lines. So, that's what's important to us. And that needs to happen more and more. You hear, the rhetoric now, the President of the United States, who's been a great pro-union president, he walked the UAW picket line, one of them. Well, I've had 226, and I've only had 3 people walk my picket line. So, we need to hold politicians accountable and gather their support, because, look, getting back to the Amazon fight, we're going to need help legislatively. And we're going to need a lot of help, and people are going to be called on. Now, people are going to be called on that may have taken money from Amazon, campaign contributions. Mm-hmm. So, they're going to have to check their moral compass and, make a decision on who they're going to serve. Are they going to serve big tech and Amazon, who's destroying middle-class jobs and trying to destroy people's lives? Or are they going to, take campaign contributions? So, I'm excited about the opportunity. I love chaos. I love controversy, as you know. But more importantly, I love representing the American worker, and I'm going to do that at all costs.
Well, speaking of Amazon, we got to point out, not just here in California, but in New York, at a New York City warehouse, Amazon lost again, and specifically lost a challenge to you guys, the Teamsters. This was a win, and you said that you don't back down, and you don't. I mean, you personally demanded in a letter to Amazon, a $1 trillion company, to agree to the bargaining dates to begin negotiations as soon as possible over 5,000 Amazon workers at JFK 8. Want to speak to that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, look, we thankfully, ALU and their leadership, chose us to merge with us, and it's a great opportunity for us. But let's be realistic. This is right in our warehouse. We negotiate the largest private sector contract in UPS, $30 billion deal, all direct employees that does the same job every single day. So we know how to do this. We know how the business runs. We know what's expected, and like we're trying to do. Is set industry-wide standards in every industry we represent. So, the bar's been set very high, and we expect Amazon, number one, to get to the table, and number two is to sign an agreement that's similar or better than UPS. So, we are going to demand it. We're going to take action. We'll do whatever we need to do. We're doing it at DHL. We're doing it at Amazon, the biggest air hub in Louisville, Kentucky. And we're not afraid to strike. And I think based upon the success we've had in California or other places, we're not afraid to strike Amazon. And the best part about it, these employees, our potential members, are not afraid either.
Right. And it just kills me when people, you can get things same day. Think about how, I mean, just how somebody is busting their butt driving in LA traffic, to get you something, same day, next day, 2 day. And they need to be safe. You want your stuff and you want it on time, but they need to be safe, and they need to have proper working conditions. You mentioned before the break United Airlines, and I want to go back to that, because you mentioned safety. And United Airlines aircraft maintenance technician, the AMTs, across the nation, they've rallied, and they're asking for a new contract, something strong, stronger than what they have from United. They want improved wages. They want higher safety standards. Hello, this is an airline, and more comprehensive healthcare coverage. It doesn't seem too much to ask, because airline profits go up, up, up. We see record travel, right? Especially since the pandemic. So a couple of things here. This United Airlines Teamsters rally is nationwide, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And then also what they're asking for, to me, is just what a normal COLA, cost of living adjustment, would be, with so many corporations, whether they're unionized or not. And then lastly, speak to the safety. These people are responsible for making sure before that plane goes up in the air that, everything's where it should be.
Well, I think it's important to recognize there's 10,000 of them nationwide. And before that plane even takes off, they are ultimately responsible for making sure that plane is safe. And the pilots, they get paid a lot of money for a lot of responsibility. But without mechanics and techs making sure these planes are running, there wouldn't be any pilots, there'd be no flight attendants. And, we are the on the ground level of keeping the general public and everybody else safe. And I think the general public needs to understand that, how critical and valuable these folks are. And, United is acting just like any big corporation right now. That all they care about is the bottom line of their balance sheet. They don't care about the people that keep them safe and make them the success that they are. And we're going to expose them just like we do every other employer, whatever it takes. And you're right, we are doing these nationwide rallies. We're going to continue to do these nationwide rallies. United Airlines was used to having their way with the old leadership and trying to scare members into accepting contracts. We're not going to do that. We know what our members are worth. We know how valuable they are. But more importantly, we know how profitable these airlines are. And we're going to make certain that they continue to be profitable, but we want our members to reap the benefits of some of those profits as well. And safety is a huge concern, but more importantly, it's about respect. It's about treating everybody with respect. And United Airlines doesn't do that. They got a two-tier wage system. It takes 8 years to get to the top rate. 38% of their workforce is under that 8-tier wage system. We're going to make certain we diminish that, and that everybody that's doing the same job is getting treated the same way and paid the same way. So, they've got an opportunity to do the right thing here, and they got an opportunity to do it real quick. They know what our issues are. We've stated our intentions extremely clear. And, if they say they want to come to the table and get a deal, well, they know what our issues are. Let's address them. Let's not play games. Let's get this thing done.
I fly a lot, not as much as you, Mr. President. But when you look outside your plane, many of us do, and they're like, hang on, we have something we want checked. And you see people out there, like you're flying through Chicago in the winter in freezing temperatures, the de-icing planes. They're out there working to make sure, like you said, that plane gets off safe. There are times in the middle of summer, you land in Miami, Florida, and you're just dripping, with sweat, and you're in the plane and you have AC because of the humidity and the heat. They're outside, the conditions they work at. Lastly, I want to talk about Costco. The fleet drivers overwhelmingly authorized to strike. And the reason I want to talk about this, 150 Costco fleet drivers voting overwhelmingly to authorize a strike. You said they're not afraid to strike. I don't think people totally understand what it means when you strike. You have to be so fed up that you're like, I'm willing to, stand out there in a picket line to get what I want. Some of them, some people may be afraid they're going to lose their job if a corporation retaliates. They retaliate when they are working, not when they're striking. Not getting a paycheck. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to
Well,
strike, but you
well,
got to be frustrated.
well, it takes courage to strike, but it takes a lot of stupidity on the employer's part to
Great.
strike themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what actually happens in the grand scheme of things. You don't want to give the people that make you the success what you want. You've asked for it. You strike yourself. And so, the one thing we take care of our members. Our members, we've got a very healthy strike and defense fund. We pay them a week's pay. So they're not financially compromised, and they have the backing of 1.3 million members nationwide. So we get the ability to extend picket lines. And look, Costco is being very disrespectful in these negotiations. I actually threw them out of negotiations myself personally 2 weeks ago when they showed up 45 minutes late for initial negotiations. Contract expires the end of December. So I told them, if you don't have the respect enough to show up before this committee,
Yeah.
negotiate the contract. We'll see you 60 days before it, and we're not negotiating that contract beyond the expiration date. So again, they have a choice to make.
Respect, and you've earned it, and you want it for all of your workers. That's extremely admirable. Also, my favorite song by Aretha Franklin, Respect. They should have that playing when you have a negotiation, walk into
Absolutely.
the room. Thank you so much for being with us, President O'Brien. I have, I love you personally. I have the greatest admiration and respect for you professionally. You're doing an awesome job. This is the General President of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. He represents over 1 million hardworking people. He is at the helm in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Find out more, not just about him, about this great organization. You want to unionize? You really should. They've got your back. He's got your back. You're hearing him. He wants respect for you from the corporations and decent wages, health care, pension, holidays, proper health and working conditions. Go to teamster.org, find out more. Also, follow them on X and also Instagram at Teamsters. Like them on Facebook, facebook.com/Teamsters. And please follow President O'Brien on X as well at Teamster SOB, capitalized for Sean O'Brien. President O'Brien, thank you so much. I know how busy you are. Thank you so much for coming today, sir, and for dressing so nice for the occasion.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And look, we've got a great team here, but more importantly, we got the best membership in the world, 1.3 million strong. Very grateful.
Oh, absolutely. Without question. Without question. Thank you, sir.